bell?
No,
Here.
your bell, battle.
Good
Oh, you don't
morning.
have.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for popping in. This is a real impromptu, more behind the scenes update. Just kind of going to let everyone know some updates. We're having a team meeting. We could call it that. We are ready, always prepared for rapid deployments. So if you hear this, that means we have a guest dropping by. That's always, a signal we've got special guests. But
Am I
outside of
can,
Frank and
am I
I,
considered a guest, Val, or could you ring it for me too, or just for our
sure,
next
I've
guest?
never rang it for you, but there you go. Got to do
Story of
it
my life.
slow.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So thank you everyone for just tuning in today. Greg, the floor is really yours. So take it away. What do we need to know today?
And that's the way I like it, right, Val? Just like my wife says, it's got to be all about you, Greg, all about you. Every morning when we do, actually every morning when we do shows, we do live shows. This is called Rapid Deployment. For those of you that haven't heard, where we are able to, what you're seeing on your screen right now, me in a nice hockey hat and Val Olson, we are able to go live. And our record is, I think, 7 minutes cold
Yes.
start. Okay, I think that was 7 minutes where we actually broadcast a live show. It was to, I believe it was a small show that night. It was to 125,000 United States veterans. Okay, so that was where rapid deployment came in. This is truly, truly what it is. And I'm going to be, as anyone who's watched our shows knows. Excuse me if I go real slow this morning, Val. Been going since 12:30. I think that's right after midnight, isn't it? But
Yeah.
anyhow, when you take care of a nice little sheepdog who's almost 19 years old, life starts at 12:30 or whenever, right? This is today. This is Secrets from the Inside, episode 0039. And again, not a cliche, rapid deployment, and we're putting together a very fast show. However, meaning fast, you have the timestamp there, Val. I'm sure if you want to take a minute later of putting this show together today. But as usual, I produce the show right in front of everybody. And Val is actually used to that. We've been doing it for 3 years. But today will be really, I guess, a real display of our product, of our show, because you don't know what's going to happen here, Val Olson. Nor do I. Long form radio, great overnight radio and stuff. What people like is when they don't know what they're going to say. There's always surprises. There's always Mike Tyson. Plan goes well until you get punched in the face. And isn't that true? I always say, make goals, but don't make any plans. Don't make any plans. I will be really surprised if I don't get emotional today, Val Olson. I'm going to, as a matter of fact, again, producing in front of you, Val, I'm going to let you take a minute, okay? Take a minute. And just really from your point of view, what we're doing today and stuff, we have literally today is just going to be what we used to call, Val, in the old Twitter Spaces days. Thank God Trump and Elon caught on. We were ahead of that one.
Yeah.
But what we
We're
said in oh, but in those days, back in the old days, the Twitter Spaces, dude, I'll tell you about the old days in the 1970s. We won't get started there, but I'm gonna have you take a minute and just to kind of prelim introduce everyone. Do you have your coffee or tea? Did you have time, Val?
Yeah, I have water today, but sure, I'd love to take a minute. So, we've been
I
working
have this.
together.
Hold on. Do you know what that is?
Coffee, chocolate milk.
Nope, it's coffee. Threw a curveball there. I haven't
Okay.
had a car for a day. I hadn't have a car for a day, so I couldn't pick up any chocolate milk at the store. But I'm going to give it back to you because what I'm going to do, Val, I'm going to make sure my Facebook and stuff is shared
Okay,
correctly.
sure.
I don't want to forget anyone in the chat as we go. So there you go.
Okay. So yes, we've been doing a rapid deployment style of radio show. So we love our vets, we love our law enforcement, and we love all of you that are in service. And so we are here. We're ready on standby, and we always have usually entertaining guests drop by at any given time, and that's how we do this mission. Originally, we started on X Spaces or Twitter, just before Tucker Carlson did. I chose X Spaces as a community spot, and I felt like it really truly was the bulletin board. It was where anyone could drop in. It was like the old style party line, and you could very well connect with whoever the host was because you can request
By the way,
microphone.
Val, go single screen on that. I'm boring people to death leaning over my laptop. Okay, so
Okay.
this is your moment, Val.
Okay. Okay, let's see. So, where did Twitter Spaces come from, start from? That was my choice, actually. Before Tucker Carlson made it famous, Greg and I decided that we were going to use that platform because it was a very community based space. In the beginning, you could just do a broadcast, do a show, and people could listen. However, you could also engage with your audience by just sending out a microphone request. That's all they had to do is say, I want to speak, I want to have my say. And so that was a real, I would say, throwback to the party lines back in the day or just old school radio. And I loved the live element. I loved the unexpected. I loved the breaking news element that X Spaces was capable of. And so we unveiled our show, our platform there. And I knew it would catch on. And it wasn't long after that that Tucker Carlson also started doing that. And he had huge success. He was reaching, I believe, the segment where he had talked to President Donald Trump. It reached almost 8 million views, very fast. So it proved that the community space is where it's at, and people want instant. They want that instant connection with the person that's giving them the news. And I appreciate that as somebody who spent their career 25 plus years in media. I did a radio and TV show and traditional mainstream media, and I couldn't hack it there. I could not do it anymore. I was losing control. I was becoming more of just giving you fluff. Whatever was put in front of me, that was what my content was, and I was expected just to throw it on down the pipe, and I was not comfortable doing that. So in good conscience, I left mainstream media, and it took me a while to get back on the saddle, back on the horse. Thanks to Greg, we started working together to redevelop traditional communication, radio outreach, and also partner with something that was near and dear to my heart, which was supporting law enforcement, supporting our military, supporting our first responders. And that's what I did well in mainstream media and what I always did. And that's who I was known for, was available, and I would tackle whatever issue they were having and make it work, whether it was breaking news or internal issues. That was most important to me. And so this is really an extension of that. And I never could have imagined that we'd end up here on the Veteran Channel, which is very exciting. This is like a dream come true for me. This is bigger than mainstream media. This is like the connection. This is the heart, the brain, the real news, the world, the whole world. So
Nice.
I know I have to like pinch myself because like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And that is really just a facilitator of rapid deployments. So we work to build relationships, from Washington to Canada to the UK. We're all over. We're global almost, and we're interactive with you at home. So as comments come in,
You see it already.
Grizz is here this
Grizzmeister.
morning. Good morning, Grizz.
Grizzmeister. You're on top of it here. It's amazing. Grizz Paschke. Interesting. The comments made at 9/11. Okay, I like that. Grizz
Yes.
Paschke is always at every one of our shows. He's like a groupie, those folks. Anyhow, he's an awesome
part of
groupie.
the team.
I got to meet him too. He's a big
You
guy.
did? Really? He said,
Oh,
love
yeah.
you guys. We love you,
yeah.
Grizz.
Met him up at Mike Russell's event up north
Nice.
of Phoenix area, and he's a big guy. Grizz is a big guy. I joke. He's got the ZZ Top beard going.
Yeah.
big guy and Grizz, and I think I talked trash to him like within about 15 seconds, as usual, right? I say, hey, first thing you got to do is talk trash. Hey, Grizz, you're not that big. Want to do a hockey fight, usual. But thank you, man. Val, thank you so much for a great intro. And again, we're just going to wing it on the fly. I think I'm set up logistically. My main concern right now is comments, which it looks like we're on top of. Also, my Facebook. So, for some magical reason, I can't get my Facebook up on my side. But hey, we won't go conspiracy theories all of this early in the morning, whatever. But
Yeah, I did try to share it, but what you can do is you could
my
jump on
Facebook is
Facebook.
shared. Oh, no, it's good.
Okay,
It's all
good,
there.
good.
I'm just saying my laptop is not is not cooperating. Kind of like that old laptop in the old days, right, Val? Anyhow, we won't even go there.
Well,
Oh
I'm just going to
goodness.
give a shout out as well to Mike Russell because that really is our connection to Grizz
Oh yeah.
Paschke. And you can
Yeah.
always tune in. Mike Russell, he is live. This is where you can find him on Facebook. And Grizz, we love you. You are a part of our family and network here. And thank you for always being around the table.
That's so true. Grizz, as he knows, he's an SRF, right? That's called a Stark Raving Fan from the 1990s. And I really reach out to you all the time, every day, Grizz, and on Facebook and otherwise. Val, let me kind of get things rolling a little bit here.
Sure.
I have good, great intro stuff. Again, we're broadcasting live. We're going out to multi-platforms. We're not even going to be doing a lot of plugs or in quote formal intros today. I want this to be basically a bulletin board, just one of those things, checklist, check by check by check, which are stories that I want to share. Okay, that I need to share because I get a lot of things that start building in my mind, my brain, and all that stuff. I call them verticals. Val, verticals where, okay, I got that business idea going, I got that going, I got this going, I got that going. And so I'm just going to kind of go through quick checklist stuff today. I might be glossing over some stuff, but I do want to go through stuff. And first thing you always ask, Val, which is cool. What's on your heart today? Just like a real Bo in London, England, on Sunday Long Live Radio. God bless you, Ria. Didn't know I was going to do this. Shout out to you. Okay, Ria had a medical episode back in England. Was hospitalized, I think, for a day or two. I'm not sure, but shout out to Ria. I emailed her, Val, and said Sundays aren't the same without you. Okay, so jot that down too, Val. You might want to later in the show to give a quick tribute to Ria, but I didn't expect
Yes,
that by
I do.
listening.
Real quick, I did reach out to her and just beamed her some love.
Oh yeah.
She has a sweet dear friend. So over to
Yeah.
the UK, we're beaming you love this morning, Ria.
Beaming you love. That's her expression.
It is.
Anyhow, yeah, I'm so I'm so thrilled to have worked with Ria Bo and known her. Believe it or not, it's like over 3 years now, Val.
Yeah.
So there's a huge shout out to that because Ria doesn't. And people in the world, we're not used to them getting ill. Whatever. It's just life is short. Life is
Yeah.
short. I'll say make goals, but don't make any plans. Don't make any plans. I'm not going to make big plans for today. I didn't plan on going live today, Val. Don't make any plans because, as Mike Tyson says, your plan works great until you get punched in the face. So there you go.
Right.
That's one of them. You always ask, though, your first question. I digress to Ria, but God bless you, Ria, and everybody at WBN 324 SLLR Radio on it's Red Pill Radio on Rumble. Red Pill Radio. You always ask, Val, what's on my heart? And this was a tough one today. This was a tough one today. So what's on my heart is Charlie Kirk. And are you ready? Newsome Charlie. Okay, Newsome Charlie, which is spelled Noussommes. And the last name Charlie, just like Charlie Kirk. There was a time back when an expression rocketed around the world. Je suis Charlie. Je suis, which means I am Charlie. By the way, Nous sommes Charlie means we are Charlie. Je Suis Charlie came out in Paris after a terrible terrorist attack over there. And fact check me on the year and stuff. My memory's getting poorer every day. But Je Suis Charlie went around the world, and in it because it meant everybody in the world, everyone on the planet, worked for Charlie Hebdo, Charly Hebdo, Hebdo, which was a cartoon agency or whatever in Paris. And they put out a politically incorrect cartoon. Boy, I can't believe I went back to that moment and remembered that. So Je suis Charlie, I say now, nous sommes Charlie. Nous sommes Charlie spelled a different way, but with the same heart, with the reaching up. Okay. And so that was on my heart today. Further to that is I don't know anyone in the world who wasn't affected by this, Val, and affected in a way that I believe we will be looking back decades from now. And as silly as it sounds, it's not silly. I just wordsmith stuff. I think we might be hearing BC, before Charlie and after Charlie, because at least for this generation too, he's the guy, he's the man. And what I did want to say before, I know I came live. What I did want to say, and I really mean this, the world didn't deserve Charlie Kirk. Today's world didn't deserve this guy. And it's obviously, it sounds personal to me because I've been following Charlie Kirk since 2020. And he was, in 2020, he was 27 years old. And I followed, he didn't know I was following him, meaning I was covering his events. Charlie Kirk on my Facebook page today. When you have these big tragic events, you go through, imagine this, searches, say photos and stuff. And I got a photo, it's on my Facebook page, that was December 18th, 2021 at AmFest, Charlie Kirk. His incredible Turning Point USA organization. Jot that down, because feel free to give a nice little, plug for Turning Point, TPUSA, Val. I was trying to start TPA, Turning Point, Alberta.
Well, we were just at an event probably 8 weeks ago, you and I, at Charlie Kirk's event in Arizona. Right? So we were there, and his wife was on stage, and I've attended to quite a few Turning Point events, and you're right. He was really set apart with his mission.
Yeah.
And Turning Point actually is touching Alberta. I was blown away the other day to see the vigil that they had in Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer, and they were breaking out in the national anthem, the United States national anthem. And so that was, for me, so encouraging, because Charlie Kirk embodies the spirit of America. And so many, especially men, I've noticed, are deeply, deeply impacted. And they're seeing that this all-American young father, someone who just, was smart and spoke up, and a real average kind of guy, because he really was. Right. He was really normal. Right. They're seeing that, and that hits really close to home. So to see that sentiment trickle into Alberta was deeply moving and encouraging. But he was a man of faith, and I think he was also, future presidential material. Oh, yeah. But I don't think his mission is finished. And his wife went so far as to say he's on a mission. He's on a work trip with Jesus. And I think that's really important, because that's what I feel. His mission starts now. And
absolutely.
Yeah, and we've watched it just bubble over. I mean, they're saying it's grown double in size. And so when you think about that, what you do matters. When you are really plugged in, I say when you're plugged into source, you really find a way. You're unstoppable.
Right.
Whether it's yesterday, today, or
That's
tomorrow,
right.
we spend a lot of time on this show. I always say we're broadcasting to our future audience,
Right.
because history will show, history will show the things that we were talking about. Technology will advance where it's just going to be in the moment. And we've talked about so many things that we were ahead on. ValOlsonNews.com is where New News gets its news. It's
Right.
true, it does. But being around Charlie Kirk up close and personal, I watched him in December. I watched him at a big event. Was it Amfest here in Arizona?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was, it was a cordon off area, so there wasn't a lot of people, but the amount of security around him
Right.
told me then, it's getting, this is a reality check for United States. This is a reality check
Yeah.
that when he's here in his home zone, and we've got to have the amount of security around him be very, very on guard, aware, awake. And this is what's happening domestically, right? This is a domestic
Absolutely.
situation, and
Absolutely.
we need to talk about that. We can't just let that go.
In when I was first introduced to him and stuff, as I say, early 2000, and I tend to seek out leaders in their fields and stuff. And I was brand new down here in Arizona. I just retired in 2020, and I sought out and made contact with the Sheriff Mark Lambs of the world. And Charlie Kirk was one of them. As you know, there's so much. I will forever today plug my YouTube channel in that there's so much Charlie Kirk stuff on there, Val. We've been talking about this for 3 years. We found him. Charlie Kirk doesn't know who I am, right? As of this moment, you know. Anyhow, I'm not going to get emotional today. I'm not going to get emotional today. I do want to say is during those earliest times, and it was I'm telling you what, Amfest, and he has another one. The show must go on. The show must go on. Ask Eric Kirk. And I'm forever the rest of my life going to say Charlie would say, because I don't know. I really mean this, Val. If anyone fact check me on this. I don't know if I've missed, any portions of Charlie Kirk's videos since he started producing them. Like even kind of TPUSA and stuff before it was cool. I don't know if there's one that I haven't listened to in the last, probably, obviously, since the tragedy. There are some that I just simply haven't had the time to listen through all, but I will listen to them all. And it's because I wanted to know everything he had to say. He was 26, 27-year-old kid. But do you know this guy had the Bible memorized? I mean,
Wow.
I might do a top 10 list. I was going to do a top, I did top 10 reasons you ain't no Donald Trump. Remember that? And I might do a top 10 reasons you ain't no Charlie Kirk. Oh,
You can find it in Greg's book. Yeah, it's in the book.
ABC always be closing. But Charlie Kirk was fascinated. He knew the Bible. I think he had it memorized, but he also knew everything else. One of his favorite writers was Thomas Sowell, as with me. Thomas Sowell, Vision of the Anointed, explains racism in America, period. Thomas Sowell, Vision of the Anointed. But I'm saying, oh, this is my kind of guy, and started going to his events. I was blessed because I was invited really in his inner circles with, you remember these days, Val, with Turning Point USA. I was invited into the media pool, front row, listening to Charlie Kirk spoke, Charlie interviewing Sarah Palin. That was great. I have a little video on that, but it's still on my phone. I don't know how to transfer it out. Anywho, but it was so from the inside out as we got to know this guy. And then I sit there right now. Again, I will, just by time constraints, I will be wrapping up the Charlie Kirk thing, other than to say that I do have, and this is one of these bulletin board announcements, next Wednesday. Check my date on that. I think that's the 24th. Is that the 24th? We're going to
Yeah,
do,
sounds right.
we're going to do a Secrets from the Inside episode 0040. And that's going to be at usual time, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. We're going to do 0040. And I think I'm going to call it New Some Charlie. New Some Charlie. Okay.
So Grizz has a comment here. I just want to throw this in there while we're on Charlie Kirk. Charlie touched the world. Look at Australia and South Korea.
Nice.
So yeah, It's went right
Oh,
across the
and
room.
Grizz, I tell you, I just love it. And Grizz, one of the best things about you, Greg, is you're not afraid of being emotional. Okay, with that comment, I'm gonna have to go get the Kleenex here, Grizz. Okay, Grizzmeister. I love you, man, dude. People don't know Grizz Paskey was a veteran. He squared me away last week. He's kind of my fact checker, and he was on U.S. Navy. He was on the USS Tripoli, and they hit a mine, which damaged the ship. And you can tell me how many of your friends you lost on that, Greg, Grizz. But this was in the first Gulf War. So the folks that follow this show and follow us and stuff, Val, very often you'll see folks who are veterans or if you're either a veteran
Happy
or love
birthday,
veterans.
by the way. Happy birthday, Air Force. 78 years old
Whoa,
today. Thanks,
whoa,
Grizz.
is that right? I was thinking this morning, you think again with big events, I think, okay, if I were ever to go into any branch of the military back in 1983 when I came here, which branch would it be? And I'd have to say by default, it'd be the Air Force, United States Air Force, because that's where my family background is. Father-in-law, Colonel, Fullbird Colonel, Air Force pilot, B-52s, Colonel Ellis Moak, my father-in-law, shout out to him. So thank you, Grizz. Zero losses. Praise God on that. Zero losses. Nobody died on the USS Tripoli. Breaking news as we go. And on the Charlie thing, what I was going to finish up with, that was the early days of Turning Point. And now these are the 2025 days of Turning Point USA. And I think forever, I'll try and finish with this, Val. I will, because we'll be hearing more about this next Wednesday. Just to let you know, it's going to be a campfire chat, Secrets from the Inside, online campfire chat, okay, to get everybody together. That's you can jot that one down there, Val. But but I will finish up with Charlie just saying, I think there for the rest of my life, and I think there's other people out there that are going to say this, is I'm going to go in my mind. I'm always going to ask myself, well, what would Charlie say on this? What would Charlie think on this? I know my kids. I know this for a fact. They have questions all the time where they ask themselves, what would dad think about this? What would dad think about this? Because you're a great teacher if you don't need quote phone calls anymore because the kids have learned, right? What dad would think about it. But the I say tragic but joyful part is sometimes dads are gone forever and you just can't ask them anymore. And those are the questions you don't want to have. Where you say, God, what would my father have said before he died? What would my grandfather have said before he died after fighting in the British Army? So don't get those questions. But I will forever be saying, what would Charlie say on this? And I'll finish up with this. I've been trying to finish up, I know, is I think Charlie would say, that don't worry about him. He's in paradise. Okay. And the first follow-up question I would ask him, well, what about Erica and the kids? And I think that Charlie would go right to, I learned about it with the Gilbert Morris books. It's called The House of Winslow, 42 nice little books with Christian messages. And one of the authors, Gilbert Morris, was a pastor. He was the author, Gilbert Morris. In every single one of the House of Winslow books, he would always say, Jesus is father of the fatherless, father to the fatherless. That was a continued theme because there's so many guys that have lost their lives over the centuries and decades. Morris writes back to the Mayflower. He does historical fiction, but in kind of a real conversational and Christian message way. So if there's ever supposed to be mandatory reading, in today's public school system, it's Gilbert Morris in the House of Winslow. There's 42 of them. I drive my wife crazy. I've read one of them, I think, like about 40 times. Anyway, but he always says he's father of the fatherless. There have been so many widows and so many orphans. And and I think Charlie would say, if he would say, drop my name, Greg, if it means my message and God's message and stuff is going to grow. That's the whole point. He said time and time again that he was a regular human being and we all die. I just didn't expect a guy 31, you know? But the messages, and as I say, the messages he carried throughout. When I said in the very beginning that we don't deserve a Charlie Kirk. And full disclosure, I'm a huge Kirk fan. I didn't agree with Charlie on a lot of number of issues. I was raised in a different background than Charlie was. I was raised up in Quebec and Montreal. We all have different views on life. It's funny. I think I'm the only. I think I'm the only non-gun owner in the United States. I think maybe in Arizona. I'm not a gun guy. Charlie was. I'm a Second Amendment guy. But if you ever want to, I would say do your homework. Just go to YouTube, search Charlie Kirk, and make sure you've got about maybe 2 or 3 days just to get through the videos. I would think he would say that he has no problem whatsoever moving on to a greater good, providing that his message grows and continues to grow. He would never have even dreamed how exponentially it will grow, as we've already seen. So as cavalier as it sounds, I think Charlie would be totally good with this, provided we're carrying the message and we're taking care of Erica and the kids. That's a biggie. I've never seen anything like Erica Kirk's speech within 24 hours of his death. I've never seen anything like it. I'll feature it in a future show. Didn't expect to go this long, Val. I do have to wrap up this segment, the Charlie Kirk discussion, other than he's doing an AmeriFest this year. The show must go on. It's easy. He always does it in December. My first one was December 18th, 2021. And I'm planning on being there. And Val, you know what? You're invited there as ever. We'll see Sheriff Mark Lamb there. I bet you we'll see Captain James McCormick there. Maybe some big folks. Okay. So that's all I'm going to wrap up on this segment. I'll give you a couple of minutes to let me unwind a bit. And I do want to go back to my bulletin board. I said bulletin board, and I do a half-hour monologue, Val Olson. So I wanted to get stuff like this on the record before I die. You know, my mantra always has been for decades. I said, okay, if today was your last day on Earth, are you okay with that? And my answer every time is, hell yeah. Yes, that's fine. I'll give you right here, bang. Because I got enough on the record. Thank goodness for digital record, Val Olson. I'm going to turn it over to you for a minute. Maybe two, Val.
Okay.
See,
All right.
producing the show, and then we'll go to the next bulletin board. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I agree. You know, one of Greg's famous sayings is, "You wake up in kindergarten every day," and that really is the way to approach life. And when you don't have fear of death, I think that that's a really important part of it. You know, that's what gives you the eyes to see, the ears to hear, you know, what you need to know for the day, and to really maximize your time. And it has been a real gift. One of the lessons you've taught me is to put it on the record, get it on the record. And so that's why we often do these types of broadcasts, you know, for history, for the future, for those that stumble on it. But yeah, you know, your life is really in God's hands. And so I just say, you know, we have to, what can we take from this event? Not to, like, I look at the legacy, I look at what his wife is doing, what she will do.
Wow.
I think that's another part of this, is they had a really, really just relationship that they put on the stage, they modeled. And a lot of leadership is actually coming back to those moments that they had spent with Charlie and Erica together, or words of encouragement that Charlie had given them on what kind of spouse, how to be. And so when you have that with a husband and wife team and they were young, she's going to rise up too. You're going to see a comeback with her, because I think that she's just going to be coming into the spotlight. I think, you know, she really was an example of
Yeah.
a wife that was a biblical wife.
Right.
And And it's such a fine line, and she just exemplified what a biblical wife was, and she was there as his support. And I think though now is going to be her time, a different season for her. And you can do it all, and that's another thing I want to touch on, because you can do it all. You can be a wife, you can be a mom, you can
Right.
be uh you know have a career, you can do all those things, and it's all by the grace of God, it really is. But I just support her on her mission. And you're right, Turning Point will carry on and continue on, and there will be some big names, and they're saying there's over, what did they say, 2 million Charlies. That's how the media is dubbing it. There's 2 million Charlies.
Oh yeah.
So
Imagine,
take that.
imagine, imagine a million people in London, England, coming out for Charlie Kirk. Because if you ask those folks back there, they've been muffled and stifled and censored, and this
Right.
is them coming out of their shell and saying, God, love, freedom, Charlie Kirk. Anyhow, I won't rant on that, but yes, worldwide it was incredible, Val. And you're right on the Erica Kirk stuff. There's a definite theme is a strong women, strong women. And I'll give the mic back to you just to kind of finish up that thought. But strong women to me are Melania Trump, Janelle Lamb, Erica Kirk, and Deborah Meakin. But that's for another episode, for another day. Val, back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is going to be a season of women rising in a new way, in a fresh way. I was reading the other day just the purpose of salt in the earth, and I really think that a strong woman who has her ducks in a row, has it together. There's gonna be a place, a real special, unique place for that spirit. And if you don't believe me, you can read one of my favorite books. It's a quick read, like 25 minutes, half an hour. It'll take you to read the book of Galatians. It's just a small snippet in the Bible, but I love, love, love the story of a strong woman. Deborah was her name. And my favorite part is she actually led the army.
Right.
She
Right.
she led the army. She's like, the injustice is going on in this world. Like, we have to stop this. And the army was a little bit, a little nervous maybe. And she was like, nope, we're going full steam ahead. So I love the story. It's very galactic.
Comment by Grizz Pashke. Greg, don't forget Val Olsen
Oh,
as one of those strong women. There you go. See, Grizz, you kind of fact checks me a little bit. It's kind of cool.
thanks, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, that's
It's,
awesome. But
it's
yeah, I
so,
just think that that's what we need to do in our communities, is
yeah,
really think like that, and don't be afraid. Um, Sheriff Lamb and his wife Janelle, they're a couple that I say like are ready for the White House.
right.
Future presidential material right there, law and order. But they, to me, embody a team mentality where she can go ahead, he can go ahead, but they work in this real tandem way that is really the spirit of America, the true coming back to our roots and who we are. And I was saying, and I say this to the United States, like I speak to it. I speak to the United States. You are a shining city on a hill, whether you want to be it or not. It is your destiny. It is your past. It is your present. It is your future, and the world looks to that shining city on a hill. So it is so imperative that everything we do moving forward reflects that. And so when I see garbage going on here that is counterproductive and not within our DNA here in the United States, I'm going to take it down, and
Sure.
I will call out an army to take it down.
Sure.
Whatever is necessary. But we all need to think like that. We need to think like that in our communities, in our counties, in our country. And that is how you start the cleanup. But do not let Marxism, do not let communism. I will echo Charlie Kirk, because he started when he was 18.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting that his first kind of aha moment was also mine. And that was, we recognized the indoctrination that was in our school books.
Oh, big
That
time.
was that was the
Oh,
like arrow to the apple moment. Okay, for him,
yeah.
for me, and there will be others, but you have to recognize when that is the truth. Everything else you do after that has to reflect that truth. So that's why you're seeing parents pull their kids out of universities, parents take ownership of their children's education. Arizona, President Trump said, would be the state to watch when it
Yeah.
comes to the transformation of education. And
Yeah.
I stand on that. I
Yeah.
stand on that. And it has an impact in the community. So go
I,
ahead.
I agree. You're just launching AZ-48, talking about AZ-48, which is Arizona is the state, a true American state where, and isn't it funny that Charlie Kirk is based out of Phoenix? But Arizona is a really cool state. It's a state that we really believe represents America,
Yeah.
and the founding fathers and First and Second Amendments and all that stuff. And sister state to Alberta 51, Alberta, USA.
Yes.
Almost everything we talk about now, Val, these are entire episodes. I want to switch gears here because I definitely don't want to run out of time. I always like to keep a broadcast to 59 minutes or less. But I just want to not forget the bulletin board part of this. As Val knows, and only a few people know, I know Sheriff Mark Lamb knows, I was in a car accident on Sunday, this past Sunday. And I say I joke because I joke about everything, but I joked to Sheriff Lamb that it was a 3-car pileup, and as usual, I was the middleman. I was the middleman. But there are lots of kind of inside scoop stories there. But once again, I'm going to say this is number one. I'm okay. Stuff. Tanner was talking to Tanner this morning and stuff, and I really kept it quiet. I haven't been on social media at all talking about it because I can't talk about it. It's a pending claim. Don't you love that? Don't you love that? It's a pending claim, but I did want to tell folks that didn't know. I was in a car accident. I was sitting minding my own business on Sunday about quarter to 10 Pacific. I was on my way to Casa Grande, Arizona, to Florence Avenue to a sports bar called McMashers. It's a sports bar that I go to because it's the only place that has Seattle Seahawks football games on, because we have garbage broadcasting here in Arizona City and all these stuff. I'm sitting minding my own business, sitting at a stoplight, and I got drilled from behind. And I believe, I think it was a young guy texting and driving. Imagine that. I definitely asked him if he was. I guessed he was. I definitely guessed that he was texting because he hit me so hard. Yeah. But I don't want to make a long story short, but I do actually want to make a long story short. But I just always reach out and thank you. As I said to Sheriff Lamb, I said, once again, I got to meet your boys, the Pinal County deputies. I got to meet them and our hero first responders down here in Arizona City, Arizona. I said, as usual, they were wonderful, and I told them so. These are the oldest one in the group because obviously, Val, I checked everybody's generation and ages, right? And I'm talking about sitting in the ambulance. A wonderful guy named Ben. I refused the ambulance service. Anyhow, but I said, and the oldest one of the whole group, and there were a lot of them. I will say, say what you will about America, down on 911 and Americans, and see what the kind of care that you get. You just won't believe it. But the oldest one of the group, I think, was like 28, 29. And I thank them because I still will always say, these are our Gen Zs. By the way, this is our Charlie Kirk demographic. They're Gen Zs. They're now like 18 to 28, right in there. And they are my little heroes. They're the most very often overworked, underpaid folks in the world. They are firemen. There are first responders, EMS. There are border people. There are deputies. And these are all, check them out. Most of these folks are in their 20s. And some of the older guys are old millennials in their 30s. But so I thank them. And bottom line, and I just wanted to put it out there, I was in a car accident. First time in 50 years I was without wheels, no car. My other car, I usually keep 2 cars, Val, but my other car's in the shop. My older, my Lexus, little SUV, it's in the shop. It's gonna be there for, like, 2 weeks. Why? 2 weeks. Why? Oh, we had to order parts, discontinued parts out of China. You can't make this stuff up. So I'm saying, I don't wait 2 weeks for a vehicle, but anyhow, God is in everything. It was the first time I was without wheels for about 5 minutes. Now I have wheels. But anyhow, so everything is A-okay. I'm gonna keep folks posted, and I'll give a real official update next Wednesday, on the show on 0040. I do want to. I've been chatting with, of course, folks behind the scenes about it, but again, haven't made it public. So there you go.
Well, can I give a shout out to Pinell
Sure.
County as well
Oh,
this
yeah.
morning because
Oh,
the
yeah.
officers pulled me over this morning. The lights
Nice,
came on. Yeah,
nice. You
yeah.
got
And
lit
they
up?
had every right to. They had every right to.
Really? Was it
Yeah.
Pinal deputy?
No, I don't think, well, it was like I think undercover, or
Oh,
I'm not
nice.
sure. I'm not sure. It was
Okay.
an SUV. It was an
Nice. Unmarked?
anyways, I was getting to school a little behind schedule,
Oh,
and he came to the window and I said, I know I'm speeding here. This is all on me. And he's like, no, it's okay. This one's on me. He's like, this one's on me.
really?
But the
Really?
sign. And I said,
Nice.
wow. And
Nice.
he's like, I got to run, but I just want to make sure, like you're paying attention. I said, yes, sir,
Oh,
officer. Thank you for your service. And he was on
wow.
his way. But that's kind of the culture here. It
Yes.
really truly is. But I was 100% in the wrong, and
No.
I was,
Well, you
I'm going to
raised
own
your
it.
hand and said that.
I
You
did. I
didn't
said, this
yell at
is
him.
my fault. Like,
Sure.
let's start there.
You didn't yell
But
at him
yeah,
and say and blame
no,
anyone. You didn't yell and scream and all that stuff saying, "I didn't do nothing. I didn't do
no, I know
nothing." You
what I
raise your hand and say,
did.
"My bad." And you know
Yeah.
what that comes down to? Fear not, do right. Sheriff Mark Lamb trains his deputies. Forget that you throw the rule book out and all that stuff. What's right? Do what's right. And
Yeah.
in this case, Val Olson, a nice little warning and thanks for caring. He saw that you're a mom and running around
Oh,
with your
yeah. My
so,
kids
but
were in
he
the
did what's
back,
right. Because you can make a scene
Yeah.
on anything else and write up a report, blah, blah, blah. Some of the best things in the world. I've always said 90% of the stuff in the world can be solved with a 5-minute cell phone conversation. Or in this
Yeah.
case, a true one-on-one interaction with the deputy. And he took a read on the situation. He says, "This one's on me." Boy, I like
Yeah.
that. We could make a commercial about that, like he's a
I
bartender or
know.
something. "This one's
Well,
on
yeah,
me."
because it's
Yeah,
true. Like he could have wrote me up, and he's like, "No, carry on to school," because you could see I
nice.
was clearly a few
Nice.
minutes late.
Nice.
And just for the record, I wasn't going too fast, but I had to slam on the brakes to meet the sign to stay within the limit. So
Yeah,
I mean, either way, it was my fault. But I just thought, wow. And don't forget to thank them for their service. That is
exactly.
so important. And he was young. He was young. He was probably in his 30s.
There you go.
But they're doing such a great job. And so, yeah, we just give a shout out to them and
Yeah.
thankful to be in Arizona, right? We're thankful to be here. It's a great state to call home.
Yeah.
And, as the future gets crazy, Arizona,
Yeah.
we have a lot of life in us here and we have a lot of
Absolutely.
room.
And
So
we were
consider
blessed for 8
Arizona.
years to be led to have our sheriff as Sheriff Mark Lamb. End of story.
Yeah.
That just answers everything. It's what law enforcement should be and could be, and is what law enforcement was for you with
Mhm.
that warning. I just love that. If I wish I'd heard from them. I said, "Well, go ahead and arrest Val, see what happens."
He was so kind. I mean, he didn't even take the time to get my
Uh,
name and run my license. I was trying to get all my stuff out, had my passport ready. I'm
it's
like, what's
called
that going to do?
manners. You had manners. It's in the book, Val, manners.
Right.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, my bad. I was wrong. Amazing what can happen.
Well,
Amazing.
own it, right? We all make mistakes,
Exactly.
but it's like our
What?
first impulse.
Yep.
y- we can reset there. We can really reset. I'm going to throw a book out there that I encourage everyone to read. It's been a real life transformer for me, and you often talk about it in your book.
Oh
Oops,
my
upside down.
God.
Yeah, so you
Oh,
talk about now what's her name?
shameless
Uh,
plug on what? Shameless plug. Good for you, Val.
What's Catherine's
Catherine
last name?
Martin. Catherine
Catherine
Martin.
Martin.
Catherine
Okay,
with a
so
K.
right. So behind that Catherine Martin story, which you will find in this book, um, it's the 12-step recovery
Right.
program.
Right.
But behind that, the creator of that program
Right.
is the author Emmett Fox. And so I've just found Emmett Fox.
Really?
Yes.
Before Bill W? Emmett Fox, I read him well. Awesome.
You've read his books?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
A
okay.
couple of them.
So
A couple of them.
no way. No way.
Oh yeah, no,
So I
Emmett
am
Fox.
like, yeah.
Sermon on the Mount. Sermon on the
Yes, that's
Mount.
what I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
finishing it.
The Lord's Prayer. Yeah.
It's
Read it
so
18 times.
good. No way. Okay, so I'm just finding it and I love it. It's totally a transforming experience.
Yep.
It's very science, it's applying the scientific method and meaning this is exciting because for people that aren't getting results, it really comes back just to the simplicity, like the absolute common sense simplicity.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I love it. It's really inspired me in new ways, and so I think everybody, like, I think this is going to take the world by storm.
Well,
Unfortunately, Emmett Fox is no longer here, but I said I would have been in his front row. Like, I would have
oh yeah.
been on my
Oh
way
yeah.
over to the UK. He's from the UK.
Yeah.
And then he made his name here in the United States as well. But the teaching is revolutionary.
Yep.
So the church has not caught on
Right.
to what Emmett Fox has very simply laid out. And I I'm just blown away. It's so
You know,
good. And
you
yeah, so I'm really thankful for that connection.
you always take, my grandfather taught me this. You always take one or two things from everything you read or whatever and take them on for the rest of your life. One thing about Emmett Fox that I take, and I haven't read him in a long time. I mean, like decades. I did when I was struggling during a very difficult time with alcohol. With alcohol. But
Mhm.
Emmett Fox, what I loved, and the thing I took forever, other than read the Lord's Prayer, just that chapter or two. I'm just okay. Secondly, secondly, um, is he had said evil's always going to be after you. They'd say we live in a fallen world. There's evil out there. Recognize it. And I don't know how he verbalized it, but what it was like, the boulders of evil will come rolling down the hills at you,
Mm.
after you. And I mean evil. And in this case, nothing is more appropriate. Nothing is more applicable to 2025 with the evil that's rolling down the hill in social media and the hate and nonsense. Okay, so it's going to come. It's going to roll down the hill. And his advice was to ignore it. Don't
Yes.
don't give it credence. Don't give it recognition. And 99% of the time, it'll roll right by you, but you don't pay
Well,
attention to it. I love that. It's something I've carried, and I don't know what the verbiage was, but go ahead. Back to you on that, Val.
yeah, I actually know what it is because that's one of his kind of primary staples in
Right.
teaching. And what he says is, I've got two for you. Neither does one outer thing ever cause another outer thing. Cause and effect are from the within, right?
Nice.
So it starts inside.
Yeah.
So from the within to the
Oh, yeah.
without.
Oh,
This
yeah.
all embracing master law is not difficult to grasp in theory once it has been clearly enunciated.
Right. Right.
So,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
that's what it really is people are externally looking for something quick and feel good, right? Like surface level.
Right.
But it's actually on the inside. And, when you apply that you have to deal with the feeling, which is in your mind, deal with
Right.
what's going on up here. Everything that he teaches is from the perspective of you've got to deal with the mind. If you do not have a sound mind, you are basically being hijacked. And so he says, there's no shortcuts.
Yep.
You have to apply, you have to
Yep.
do the work. And so if you're serious about something and you're really ready to take it to a place of result, and maybe you are a longtime Christian and you haven't been able to get the results you're looking
Right.
for, his teaching is revolutionary because it's
Right.
very simple.
Yep.
It's like the Lord's Prayer. Like, what does
Oh,
that
yeah.
actually mean? So it's interesting because I've been unpacking all of his stuff, and I'm like, these are the questions I've had my whole life. My whole life, I've been asking these
Absolutely.
questions. And
Absolutely.
so then when you find it, it's like, wow, it's really cool. So um
Very cool.
have good people around you. That's where I credit, I the book came from. It's having the right people around you. And yeah, it's really good.
Absolutely.
It's
You have
exciting
to have a
time to be
team.
alive.
You have to have a little team around you. That's Sheriff Mark
Yeah.
Lamb, right out of 10-7, the book. I'm not going to do a lot of plugs today. I do want to start rapping, believe it or not.
All right.
We've got 2-3 minutes and stuff. We usually follow, again, hard start, 1 hour show. If we hold over for a little bit, I'll allow it because, right, this is not democracy here. This is a dictatorship, Greg.
We're not even at an hour yet. Yes.
Nice. You like
Right.
that? We're ahead of the game. If people know the backstory of this show, yeah, we're at 55 minutes and 32 seconds. If they know the backstory of this show, I started working at 12:30 last night. You heard really, really early. We're going to do a rapid deployment. And once again, of course, a lot was to put on the record. This was my advice. This was given to me as advice by my wife, Deborah, where she said, you really need to go on air and talk about Charlie and just get it. It's kind of like get it off your list. Again,
Mhm.
timestamp it. So I'll go through a few quick things that I want to make sure I go through. Number one, of course, is Wednesday. Val, you can wrap on that as far as where people can find us. But next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern, live everywhere, is going to be Secrets from the Inside, episode 0040. I think the title will be, not confirmed, the title will be Nous sommes Charlie. Nous sommes Charlie. If you want to ever throw Americans for a loop, talk French to them, Val. So, anyhow, I do want to bring that up. I always want to shout out to Sheriff Mark Lamb, who I've talked to kind of extensively by text this morning because he knows that I was in a car accident and he was always interested in stuff like that. And so shout out to him, shout out to his wife, Janelle. His new brand, 10-7, is, I say, just to die for. It's just a fantastic book and fantastic services he offers through his 10-7 consulting. I want to shout out to Captain James McCormick, our favorite Triple Purple Heart captain, as Val calls him, Captain James, and want to reach out and to him. And I say this too, is this on camera here? Battle Tested Faith, his new book, Battle Tested Faith, and it is fantastic. I have read it cover to cover because I read the raw manuscript cover to cover, and I was thrilled to write an actual introduction to that book. And I'm thrilled that James, actually, his publisher, published it exactly the way I wrote it, which never happens. So shout out to James. I didn't even send him out a request or anything today, Val. We're just so, we're short on time. I need to get this stuff off my heart. But Battle Tested Faith, do read that. It's on Amazon. And second book, all I do is get books, Val, to review. Second one is growing up in Dorval, Quebec, growing up in the 70s. J.B. Wiley. Are you kidding me? J.B. Wiley, one of my favorite buddies in the world back in Montreal. We went to high school together, played football together. I think we've got war stories about each other, lies and stuff about sports, that we were both really good at football, but we can lie to each other on air sometime. J.B. Wiley is actually a comedian. He's a comedian and wanted to put his memoir and his thoughts of growing up in crazy Dorval, Quebec, and Montreal in the 1960s and 70s. Are you kidding me? I will. Seriously, this will be a rain check. I really want to have J.B. Wiley on here. And now I'm kind of putting a caveat on everything, and that's while we're still around. I want to have J.B. Wiley on, and so a real reach out to him on that. I have his book, read most of it already, but I'm going to be doing a review on it, on J.B. Wiley's book, and I still have a pending review coming up on Mark's book, Mark Lamb's book, 10-7. Believe it or not, I told him I just haven't had time to write your book review yet, and I do not use AI. All right, I'm an AI-free zone. Don't mind other folks doing it, but when I write something, it's coming out of my pen or off my keyboard. So I want to do shout outs to those guys. Definitely. And there's more. I do want to let you know too, and this is a real teaser for maybe next week. Everything in the world for me keeps coming back to cars and the car business. I've done entire shows on this. I'm saying, well, who wants to talk about cars with me? It's because I wrote a book about it. Before it was cool, 35 years ago, Secrets from the Inside. And for some reason, people just want to talk cars with me. And this insurance claim, this might be a very short or very protracted insurance claim. because I say it was a 3-car pileup, and I was the middleman as usual. I was the middleman, and this might be short, it might not be. As far as going through, I haven't gone through an insurance claim in whenever. So I will keep folks posted on that, and actually kind of news updates on that by next Wednesday's show, which is the 24th. There's going to be real inside scoop on that because I know the auto industry and I know the car rental business since 1983. So I might be doing actually, how about a re-release of the whole book, Secrets from the Inside 2025, why the car business is still crazy and why you still pay way too much. So that was a teaser right there, Val Olson. So I wanted to shout out that there's other stuff, there's other teasers and stuff, but we've covered a lot, Val. We've covered a lot in this show. As far as I'm concerned, I have a lot off my heart and off my chest. I mainly wanted to talk about Charlie, and the teaser on that is it's only just begun. Because next Wednesday is going to be it's going to be another Secrets from the Inside campfire chat. I'm going to do it live stream because I can't get these guys together in the same room, never mind the same state. So we're going to get together. It's going to be next Wednesday. And it's going to be called Secrets from the Inside, episode 0040, New Some Charlie. And that's a veteran channel. We haven't even gone into it. I'm going to, as a matter of fact, Val, I think I need to keep myself disciplined. I have to go have a nap any minute here because I think I'm running on empty, to tell you the truth. I just, for some reason, had to get up, had to have this game plan. I do say, as a total teaser, tune in next week. I very rarely give folks heads up on shows, but this I don't mind having almost a week to promote it. I think it's going to be good. But no matter what, next Wednesday, we still will be talking about Charlie Kirk. Nous sommes Charlie. Je suis Charlie. Nous sommes Charlie. And for the rest of my life, till the day I die, Val, I'll be referencing Charlie Kirk. And I have been since I've known you. So yes. There we go. To everybody, thank you. I'm not going to do any plugs. As Kiefer Sutherland says in episodes of 24. Did you ever see 24, Val?
Yes.
The series. Yeah. Two things Kiefer Sutherland ever said. By the way, he's a good hockey player. I almost was able to play hockey with him at a certain camp in Scottsdale, Arizona. Did you know that?
Kiefer Sutherland was on the list? Wow.
Oh, he's on. Yeah, he was on the list. But I'm not going to. I'm going to say this without even being fact checked. I think it was one of the camps during an era where Kiefer was, let's just say, misbehaving, and he was not able to fly in town. I got to get fact check on that. Kiefer Sutherland's a closet hockey player, good hockey player, as is Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is a goaltender. Did you know that? Cuba Gooding Jr., good hockey player. Cuba Gooding Jr. Some other kind of closet hockey players. Tim, who's it? Tim, the actor, tall. Tim
McGraw.
No, he
was football.
The guy that did Shawshank Redemption. I can't believe. See, that's my pre-dementia. Tim Robbins, is it Robbins? Tall guy. Yeah. Terrible hockey player. You know who's also a terrible hockey player, Val Olson? You know, Vladimir Putin. True story. True. And it's not me. I've not been on the ice with Vladimir Putin. He's one of the few people I haven't. But Putin. Kid you not, true story, Val. Here's your communist story of the day. You love the word communist. Here it is. Okay. Vladimir Putin's a wannabe hockey player, like a kid from Montreal would say. He's like a wannabe hockey player. And it's hysterical. That's Jean Beliveau, Monsieur Beliveau back in Montreal. Rest in peace. 17 championship rings. That gentleman on the right there, 17 rings. Vladimir Putin's a wannabe hockey player. So what they do is they put on exhibition hockey games and they let him play. Kid you not, Val, true story. And they let him score goal after goal after goal, right?
I think he's good. I just have a sneaking suspicion he's pretty good, but
oh my God. Live radio, you never know what you're going to say, but hey, that's something off my chest. I'm very critical of hockey players because there's two types of hockey players. There's really good hockey players, Val, and then there are garbage hockey players, and there's just only two. So anyhow, by the way, Western Canadians, they're dialed in. There's some really good hockey guys out in that area, but I'm not even going to talk about Medicine Hat or Saskatoon or a couple of favorite ones back there, but good hockey up there. Good hockey up there. Also underrated is Minnesota. Great hockey. And all the guys from Michigan. Okay, good hockey players. A lot of others, not so much. Anyhow, back to you, Val. I'm going to have you close out the show. Do whatever you want for an outro. Maybe 2 minutes tops kind of thing. But do whatever. Do what your outro is what you do. We're not going to finish with music. We're not doing any music or videos or whatever today. Just wanted it raw and uncensored, uncanceled, undoxed, unswatted. So I always say to everybody out there, thank you, not only for who's listening live, thank you, Grizz, and all of you guys, but who this is going to still be re-platformed on other networks. So thank you to you guys, and always, if you haven't thought of this lately, think about this today. Wake up in kindergarten every day. There's so much to learn and so little time. Because before you know it, you're in first grade. And I'm going to add to that saying, because before you know it, sometimes you're not here anymore. Back to you, Val.
Well, I will recap today. This was a rapid deployment episode. I think from the time I received the call in my car, I zipped home and we were on the air in 15 minutes or less. So that's what we do here. It is rapid deployment. We are the Veteran Channel, and we invite you, if you haven't already, to find us. You can find us on Apple, on Roku, on Prime. Of course, Greg Meekin's YouTube channel is where you'll find the short snippets. So you can just search it by topic. So if you hear something you like today, you can type that in and chances are that video will pop up. So just to recap, we did some bulletin board points where we really talked about just how sad the passing of Charlie Kirk is, but the rising of Charlies. So we're going to talk more about that, the rising of Charlies. Next week on the Veteran Channel, every Wednesday, we are broadcasting live. So check us out there. And we also touched on today a new author. Greg mentioned some book reviews, and I'm going to bring you one as well. This one comes from Emmett Fox. I am now a huge Emmett Fox fan, so you're going to hear me talk about him an awful lot because this is practical teaching Christianity, but this is for results. So this is for people that are done, not getting results and actually being like, okay, how do I do this to get what I need? So whether it's healing, it's whatever, it's very, very simplistic. So that's my little sneak peek for Wednesday. I will have more for you, but if you like that quote that I touched on, there it is. That's my artwork, by the way. So as I read, nice. And so, anyways, that's just a little secret from the inside there. But definitely join us Wednesday. And we salute our military, our law enforcement, our first responders, all of you at home. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. And we will see you soon. This was Secrets from the Inside.
Hey, Val, you got time for a quick final comment?
Yes,
from Greg. Okay.
Yep.
This is it's called epilogue. You've ever heard of epilogue? That's the coolest part at the end where they actually. An epilogue is this. I just wanted to go full disclosure on this. I was missing something before we started the broadcast, and it was my glasses. I spent half of my day looking for things because I have pre-dementia, right? All that fun stuff getting older. But I didn't have my glasses, and to this moment, I didn't find them, Val. Didn't find them. I think they might be in my car. My temporary car that I have during my accident claim. But These are actually, guess what? These glasses, don't tell anybody. They're my wife's. They're Deborah's.
And do they work? They work?
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're fine.
Okay.
But don't tell her. Do not tell her.
You return them.
Yeah, I will. Look, God bless everybody. Thank you, Val Olson. Sign off and take care. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday. See ya.
Welcome to Continue Mission Radio with Captain James McCormick. By veterans, for veterans.